Hello everybody, my name is CulBlu and I'm bringing you guys this game. This is going to be a game in the JoinDota League, something I haven't casted in a while. I'm actually a little bit sad about that. But this is going to be a game in the JoinDota League. This is going to be JoinDota League number 9. We are watching Young Gaming versus Balrog Esports, and just going to ignore a few of these things because I got to get a few of my overlays reset. But we're going to jump into the game here. They're actually in the drafting phase, and we will update this in a second. Cancel. Update. So I'm just dealing with some technical difficulties here on my end. There we go. Alright, so the game's showing. I'll worry about overlays and stuff later. But yes, like I said, we're seeing Young Gaming versus Balrog Esports, and I'm not sure what to expect from either of these teams. As far as I understand it, this is in the America League. I think this is S2 or rank 2. I forgot the rank. I need to go check that out. I'll find that in a second. But for the most part, we see ourselves just some standardized bans going through. We got the Invoker getting banned out by Young Gaming, so they don't want to face no Invoker trash. And they also got an Ember Spirit getting banned too, so they don't want no Ember Spirit troubles. Balrog Esports surprisingly banning the Lone Druid. In my few games I've seen Lone Druids on my team and going against Lone Druid, I found that Lone Druid actually fits a very interesting niche. Like with the adding of the roar, it kind of throws it off a little bit because it's like basically a 3-second stun that you can have on somebody. Oh yeah, sure, they're running away from you, but you can disengage a lot of easy fights with that ability. But he's gonna get banned out, really hard to kill, really annoying to deal with. So let's just not deal with him at all. We also got the Undying getting banned out by Balrog Esports as well. Undying, as far as I understand it, has been getting picked quite a bit, and he's like the go-to support to go to, especially if you want to go for some easy lane or tri-lane type wins. But we're not gonna see none of those shenanigans come through. So Balrog Esports not gonna let anybody have this easy. And Young Gaming, like I said, they got rid of the Invoker. Quas X Invoker, the most common. Sorry, Quas X Invoker, the most common thing I've seen. Quas Exort? Yeah, Quas Exort. It's Cold Snap and Forward Spirits and Tornado. Standardized Invoker play, just really much more annoying now that he gets extra stats from Mags. Earth Spirit getting banned out too, so we'll go ahead and see what their first picks are. I'm not 100% sure on stats for either of these teams. I am looking those up right now, but once I have those through, then we'll see how they go. So we're just waiting on the first pick from Young Gaming. They're just really deciding whether they want to go for that support first or they want to go and pick up their mid. Usually in general you want to go for your supports first. Main reason for that is because you can build your team around that. So someone like a Dazzle is still in the pool. Bane's still in the pool as well, so Bane gets picked up first. Bane actually seen quite a ton of play. Like, I'm actually surprised at how amazing and how awesome it is to see Bane get played. One of the cool things about seeing Bane is that he can fit a lot of different roles. He doesn't really need much. If you can get him something like just an Ether Lens, he'll be really happy. But otherwise, he just does really well in general overall. Hold on. So we got a Witch Doctor getting picked up on the side of Balrog Esports, so we'll see them run that. I'm not a huge fan of the Witch Doctor. I gotta be completely honest with you. He has the ability to help his team push with the nice little heal that he has. Just a lot of sustain in the lane. Also, when it comes down to it, his freaking ult, he just does so much damage, massive amount of damage on that Death Ward. Might be able to set up a few extra nice little cutesy kills. He might be able to actually get a few kills on his own as well with the Maledict addition to that. But in general, I'm not a huge fan of Witch Doctor as a support. I do prefer to play things like Shadow Shaman and Lich, so I guess I'm a little bit biased, but all that aside, Witch Doctor is going to get picked up on the side of Balrog Esports. They're going to go ahead and couple that up with a Gyrocopter as well. Just a little bit too early to tell on what their full shot will be, but they got the Gyrocopter, they got the Witch Doctor. This Gyrocopter as well, one of the cool things I recently seen was that a Gyrocopter can get shifted over into a support role if you really want to. I'm not a huge fan of it. But it's the thing that you can do, apparently. Just maxing out the missile, maxing out the rocket barrage, so you can get yourself just a little bit extra damage on those ganks, on those rotations. But given that they have a Witch Doctor inside of Balrog Esports, I'm assuming that they just want to kind of chill back, let the carry get all the farm in the world, and try to win the game that way through a standardized way. We'll see. We'll see how it decides to go. Make sure chat's not going crazy. Let me check, make sure the live stream is going. Oh man, look at that, live stream's actually going. Let's see if I can do this without breaking the game. Oh, nope, not what I want to do. Alright, I can't do that without breaking the game, so I'll worry about that later. But we see Young Gaming taking their time, trying to consider who they want to go for. They can go ahead and pick up their mid, they can also go ahead and pick up their offlaner. I think if they do pick up something like an Earthshaker, he can fit the role of support / offlaner, depending on how they want to play it. I do like seeing Earthshaker getting picked up, but with the combination of Bane, we are more likely to see something like a Mirana go along with it. I've also seen Bane Gyrocopter. I've seen Bane Gyrocopter a few times. That's been a very common matchup as far as our roaming supports. Tuss is also still in the pool. A lot of people still love to do their Tuss. I don't think he's truly nerfed to hell just yet, but he might be soon, especially with the whole ancient pool nonsense. But we got an Oracle game picked up on side Young Gaming, so they're gonna go for the nice sustain from the Oracle, also the nice high nuke damage. I've actually heard it said a few times by a few of my friends. They said a lot of people don't understand that Oracle is really strong, and once people do finally realize that Oracle is super uber strong as far as its nukes, then a lot of people are going to pick them up. One of the cool things you can do with Oracle is you can go ahead and drop yourself a Purifying Flames, follow it up with the Fortune's End, and then maybe even end with the Face Edict, and just right click somebody to death. In combination at max, Fortune's End puts a whole entire 180 damage on top of somebody, plus the whole entire 360. So 360 plus 180, that's about a 500-600 damage nuke, and you can get rid of the healing factor immediately. And then on top of that, you can go ahead and throw yourself a nice little debuff on them to just make them take extra physical damage. It just becomes a painful thing to deal with. So we see the bans going through Young Gaming. They did decide to ban out the Templar Assassin and also the Silencer. That leads me to believe they might want to go for somebody who's a little bit more reliant on just having raw HP, or maybe even somebody who's a little bit reliant on making sure they stay low in fights. Somebody like a Huskar, I don't know if he's all that popular anymore. Also Silencer getting banned out too. Trying to see what that's leading me to believe, but I can't. So I'm not going to even bother guessing on that one. But Silencer getting banned out by Young Gaming, so they're favoring not having him. Maybe something like an OD. I'm thinking like an OD might be a good person to mix up into that. When you have the Templar Assassin and also the Silencer banned out. Ursa getting banned on the side of Balrog Esports, which is actually interesting because I actually like a lot of Ursa play. Ursa with the new buffs, really amazing to see, just going in full on man mode, just 80% reduction in damage just because he popped his ult. So unfair, so not fun. So he gets banned out. And also they banned out the Juggernaut as well. These might be key players, or might be key heroes that the individual teams like to play. Like I said, I'm still looking up stats on my side, just being a little bit slow on that. Trying to focus on 5 things at once here. Okay, so as far as the voting goes, wow, geez, you guys love yourself some Team Dilecom. Team Dilecom or Balrog Esports on this side, which is Balrog Esports down at the bottom. They are the ones who are heavily favored to win this game, 90 to 94% going their way. They have played a few matches, and as far as their ranking goes, they are ranked at number 86 according to JDL, basically a 50-50 win rate, and they are straight up Peruvian, so shout out to them. Let's see, as far as their most banned, they did most banned Gyrocopter, so they actually pick it up this time around, and it's a little bit difficult to tell how they do in general with their lineups, but excuse me, but for the most part, Balrog Esports do love to run themselves a Witch Doctor. They also like to run an Omni Knight as well. I would be very interested in seeing how Omni Knight goes, if they do decide to play him. That was in the last match played back in December, so that was at the end of the JDL. So we'll see how they decide to go for it. They actually pick up a Tusk, so no room for Omni in this game, unfortunately. But the Tusk will get picked up on Balrog Esports side, or I guess to be better known, Team Dilecom or Dial. So, that should give them a lot of flexibility as far as going for the ganks. I do think it's going to be a little bit tricky because with something like an Oracle dropping out false promises everywhere all over the map, it makes it a little bit more difficult to go for the ganks. You do have some relatively flimsy people on the side of the Dire side, and the Lifestealer gets picked up on the side of Young Gaming as well. Not 100% sure if we're going to see some ancient shenanigans come out from Lifestealer, but in general, I do expect to see the race car build come out from Lifestealer, which is basically the old school Sanjin Yasha drums, having fun with the phase boots as well, just going around murdering people at the speed of light. He has a nice supporting cast for that too. The Oracle with the false promises, just making sure that Lifestealer can stay in the fight for that much longer. Templar Assassin in the band makes a lot more sense now because Lifestealer is susceptible to getting bursted down when he's at lower levels. Templar Assassin just showing up from the middle of nowhere, just straight up John Cena out of nowhere. 200 extra damage going your way. That can easily end the life of Lifestealer. There's also room for an ancient. Oh no, there's no room for ancient apparition anymore. So yeah, so pretty safe pick coming out from these guys on the side of Young Gaming. Speaking of faceless, or speaking of safe picks, Faceless Void going to get picked on the side of Balrog Esports. Now, in this recent patch, Faceless Void has been facing a little bit of an identity crisis, at least from my perspective. I think Faceless Void plays really well in the offlane. I like Faceless Void in the offlane a lot. I just don't like the fact that the Faceless Void is kind of forced to buy a Blink Dagger. So, if you want Faceless Void to play effectively, in my mind, because of his whole backtrack, or it's not Time Walk, because Time Walk got nerfed so hard as far as its range, because you had to get a blink dagger anyway. I think I like Faceless Void a lot better in the off lane. So if you play off lane Faceless Void, go ahead and get yourself some team fight items, get yourself a Vladimir's Offering, maybe even a Mechanism. I don't know if you'll push it that far, but something like a Mechanism for some extra sustain, and then you'll be able to jump in and initiate those fights. Along with someone like a Tusk, it'll be pretty darn deadly. But given the fact that they have a Tusk on their side, I seriously doubt we're going to see if off lane Faceless Void. We might see him go safe. Actually, considerations here. If Gyrocopter plays mid, we might see ourselves a safe lane Faceless Void with the Witch Doctor to support, and Tusk maybe roaming around, doing some kills, doing some fancy things. Actually, the more I think about it, the more I like Faceless Void and offlane in this matchup. Alright, sorry, I'm a little bit indecisive on this one, mainly because Faceless Void has, like, he's not as good of a carry as he used to be. It just seems because he can't just pseudo-randomly, like, negate 25% of the incoming damage coming to him, which I've seen many a big plays by Faceless Void just dodging Laguna Blades and dodging Finger Deaths just because of his backtrack. But Time Dilation's really good ability, really nice as far as going for people who like to spam abilities like Oracle, so fantastic versus someone like Oracle, fantastic versus someone like Bane. But I think he's going to struggle quite a bit trying to go toe-to-toe with Lifestealer, especially considering the fact that he'll be forced to drop a spell like a Time Walk just to heal himself back up, whereas Lifestealer just kind of continues to punch him in the face, or compared to in the faceless. So going into the pick on Young Gaming, they did pick up a Phoenix, and as far as the final bans, we see an Earth Spirit getting banned out by Young Gaming, and we see a Queen of Pain getting banned out by Balrog Esports. So it looks like they are going to be trying to invest in people to stay alive, I guess. Sorry. They're going to be trying to invest in the carry Faceless Void. There's a better way to put it. Because people who nuke down Faceless Void do easily just give them a lot of trouble. Of course, backtrack's still there, but they have to follow up stuns necessary. Well, at least in the Bane, dropping the Fiend's Grip, holding them down long enough to help them get the burst damage out of Faceless Void. And we also got a Death Prophet getting picked up by Balrog Esports, so they're going to be going for the Sucky Prophet, as I like to call it, Siphon Spirit. Very strong ability, stronger than it looks. I do still think Death Prophet suffers a lot, as a lot of people tend to agree. Death Prophet still suffers a lot from not having any true ways to sustain herself. Like, she's just really weak as far as her HP goes. But if she can somehow get herself something like a Tornado 6 so she can survive during those ultis, or something like a Heart of Taraz so she can just have so much HP that nobody can do anything about it, she might have a really good time. And considering the fact that Siphon Spirit does max HP as damage, it's going to be really nice versus someone like Lifestealer, who's going to naturally build a bunch of strength-based items, also attack speed items, to go ahead and just help them get the kill. And we got a Zeus rounding out the pickup from Young Gaming, so they have their mid, which would be a Zeus versus a Death Prophet. I think in these type of engagements, I do favor the Zeus a little bit more. Death Prophet has a few nukes that she can pop Zeus off into the lane, but I still do like the Zeus. I still do like the Zeus just a little bit better. Mainly because, I mean, come on. How could you not like this face? Look at that. Look at freaking Beefcake Zeus. Anyway. All that aside, my shenanigans aside, let's go ahead and start introducing these people. Starting from the side of Balrog Esports or Team Dilecom, we have ourselves YS playing that Tusk. Moving over to the Death Prophet, we see ourselves Lemon Breadland playing that Death Prophet. On this Witch Doctor, we see ourselves the one and only XD playing that Witch Doctor. And oh my gosh, hold on. I don't think my chat's going to everybody. I have party chat turned on. Oh, Dota, you confused me. Okay. Alright, there we go. That should be better. Alright, everybody should be able to hear me now. My apologies to everyone watching Dota TV. If you tune into my channel, thank you very much. If you're not, then that's fair enough. I understand. CulBlu hitting the wrong buttons. But moving over to the, continuing the rest of the pick, or call-offs, we have ourselves Freedom playing that Gyrocopter. Moving over to the Faceless Void, we see ourselves Dustaya Jr., and that's going to be it for the callouts. Moving to the side of the Youngin, we see ourselves running that Zeus, running a little bit too fast for me. We see ourselves Youngin AKO, or Ico, on his Lifestealer, or Dykes as some people like to call him. We see ourselves Ryan Nick playing that Lifestealer, and oh my gosh, they're going to go uphill. Faceless Void just might be in trouble. The open wound's not picked up just yet, but they're going to back away. And, oh, okay, nothing happening. So, Boundary Room getting secured for the Zeus, and Boundary Room getting secured for the Death Prophet all by our lonesome.
This is quite exciting.
And admins, just FYI. Okay, alright, so the names are... Okay, I thought we were going to say something else. Anywho. Thought we said they could hear the caster voice. Oh no, I've actually been in the game where that happened. Alright, continue on with the callouts. So, on the Youngin side, we see also Wars 3 playing that Oracle. On this Bane, we see ourselves I'm a Sheep Sucks. Oh my gosh, I remember him! History. I forgot what team he used to play on, but I've seen him play a lot. I mean, Sheep sucks. I'm officially rooting for Youngin. Sorry, I'm a little bit biased. Playing that Bane. And on this Phoenix, hanging out on the other side of the map, we see ourselves a young Sheriff playing that Phoenix. And it looks like we are, in fact, going to go ahead and see ourselves an offlane Faces Void. Like I said, he does really well in the offlane, and because he has to buy a Blink Dagger anyway, it makes a lot of sense to make him not your primary carry, because Blink Dagger is just one wasted slot, so to speak, where you're not going to have a damage-based items. But overall, it's a really good item for Faces Void, because he can just blink and drop Chrono. A lot better than just Time Walking, because Time Walking takes time, unfortunately, to actually get up there. But given the fact that Faces Void can actually backtrack a lot of his damage off, he can trade very efficiently. Going to go toe-to-toe with Oracle. Oracle going to be forced to eat himself a nice little mango, or a nice little pink and beautiful dodge coming out from Faces Void. Unfortunately, first blood does happen mid on top of the Zeus coming out from the Tusk. Tusk did rotate in. Death Harper going to be able to get the final hill on top of that. I do think she used a Siphon Spirit on that one. So sorry I missed that kill. I was a little bit too busy focusing up at the top that I called the fact that Faces Void would be off lane. Speaking of Faces Void off lane, looks like we're going to see rotation coming on top of Bane. Tusk, Snowball's available. Not going to drop it just yet, but they should know about this. Dustin Jr. or Dustaya Jr. Going to get himself an easy little time lock on top of the Bane. And it's going to back up. Both sides not really wanting to do much. YS is doing the roaming shenanigans. I haven't seen any ancient stacking just yet. I will be sure to point that out as soon as I can. But taking a look at the rotations, top lane. Our top rune does get picked up. Oracle going to get a nice little bit of damage on top of his Death Prophet. Death Prophet going to be forced to back away. Creep aggro as well. Zeus coming in for the nukes. Will he be able to drop it in time? There goes one piece. And nope, second piece will not be there. Witch Doctor was ready to go for the follow-up too if it was coming in. Looks like Death Prophet going to be able to keep himself nice and healthy. They're going to go for the kill. Oh, Death Prophet just might be dead. Here comes Zeus getting the bottle charges. He's trying to do as much damage as possible. Siphon Spirit comes through. She's still alive. The heals are too massive right now. Death Prophet going to be able to turn this kill. Gets one, gets two. Well played. Come up from the mid lane. Witch Doctor coming in with the extra sustain. And Death Prophet showing you guys how Siphon Spirit is not as bad as some people want to point it out to be. I do think she still has HP issues. Don't get me wrong, but very nice play. Very nice turnaround on that one. Nice rotation coming from Witch Doctor as well. Being very patient with that Invis rune. Moving on down bottom, we have Gyrocopter. He is hanging out with his last hits, sitting at 19 last hits versus the Phoenix. So to be expected. Phoenix, 0 last hits. Can't do jack squat. I think in this situation, all you really need to do as an offlaner, especially if it's a Phoenix, is just make sure your tower doesn't die too fast, and you'll be fine. But Gyrocopter pretty much free farm down at the bottom. Meanwhile up top, the other carry, which is the Lifestealer, he is sitting at a nice, pretty... Whoa, okay, wrong button. He's sitting at a nice, pretty 13 last hits. Not as much as the Gyrocopter, but he does have a... Nope. Yeah, he has been having to deal with Faces Void a little bit too much, in my honest opinion. Level-wise, though, Lifestealer is doing pretty well for himself. I think Gyrocopter might be a little bit ahead. Yeah, just one level ahead. One whole level. Meanwhile, mid, we got a nice little dive coming with these guys. These guys are going for it. Okay, too many buttons getting hit. Uh-oh. Shoot. Hold on, 1 second. The live stream just broke. Too many buttons. There we go, my bad. Everybody watching on my Twitch, my bad. Hitting too many buttons over here. Anyway, so the kill does happen mid. We had the Tusk. He did lose his life for the Zeus. I think it's a worthwhile trade, just as long as the gold's going towards somebody on your squad. Alright, so what we're going to see, we got the Tusk roaming around the side. They're going to go for the Oracle kill. They do scout it out, though, so it looks like Zeus might be ready for this. Snowball from Tusk, not going to come through. Just going to make sure his Death Prophet can get the rune. They're going to go ahead and back away. So far, the kills are sitting pretty nicely on the side of Balrog. Like, I'm a little bit underestimating how strong Tusk was. But Faces Void doing a very good job, not really dying that much up top. Able to backtrack a lot of the damage. He does finally have a point inside of time dilation, so he might be ready for a gank if he really wants to go for it. But with things like Bane just feeling a little bit bad about going for the brain sap, Faces Void can time walk that back if he so desires. Unfortunately, it was on cooldown when it did happen last time around. So moving down bottom, Gyrocopter still having a little bit of a good time. I think these guys are going for or getting ready to go for a dive on top. No, okay, signed against it. Tusk might have got scouted out. Phase Boots fully finished up on Lifestealer, and we see our game progressing as it goes along. So I'm really interested to see what build Zeus decides to go for. Octarine Core, a very nice late game item for Zeus to get, but initially I want to see if he can get that Ether Lens. Bane on the other hand, he's another person who's really awesome or amazing as far as carrying an Ether Lens. And up top, oh guys, we got a fight happening. Faces Void, he's in a lot of trouble. He's going to be able to backtrack all the damage that just got tossed at him. Feeling very good about that. And then they're going to go for a kill. Witch Doctor comes with the casket. Unfortunately, bounces in the wrong direction. Nyx might be the one to get picked off. No, Snowball's going to come through. Bane getting hit with a little bit more damage. Nobody is really there. There goes Ice Shards. Witch Doctor's going to be the one to go down. Oracle able to burst him down fast enough. And here comes Tusk. He's going to lose his life here in a few seconds. Lifestealer going to go all in on top of this. The Rage damage is real. They're going to be able to get themselves 2 kills, double kill going towards Oracle, just showing you guys how much damage this freaking hero can push out just so fast. He dropped himself, what, just 1 Purifying Flames to get the kill on top of the Witch Doctor, and he dropped himself a nice little Fortune's End to stop the Tusk in his tracks. Just more than enough to actually help his team get the kill, and it's a shame that a lot of people, I guess a lot of people initially, or I guess me, let me say me specifically, I initially wasn't a huge fan of Oracle. I thought he was going to just be ignored completely. He was very OP, but he did get nerfed to hell as far as his ulti goes. I thought it was going to be more than enough to make him not play, but it looks like people do tend to want to play him. Speaking of tend to want to play him, we got Death Prophet in a little bit of trouble, dropping an ulti, trying to keep herself alive. Soul Siphon's coming through, Bane's in a lot of trouble, going to be forced to TP out, not going to be able to stay alive long enough. Too many ghosts hitting him in the face. Meanwhile, Death Prophet's on the other side, she's going to dive for the kill on top of Oracle, not going to be able to find the kill. Maybe a Cryptic Swarm would have been enough, but it's only 2 points inside of that. She did opt to max out the Siphon Spirit so she can make sure she stays alive. I guess a slight bit questioning on this ability. I like Siphon Spirit a lot as far as its ability power goes, or as far as what it can do. But I don't know if it's more important than Cryptic Swarm. I guess it's cheaper, so getting it cheaper makes it better overall. I disagree. I disagree with this. I think Cryptic Swarm should be maxed out, but Siphon Spirit has been keeping Death Prophet alive, so I guess who am I to speak if she's still alive? Moving down bottom, we see ourselves Skycraps just trying to get a little bit of tower damage on, forcing Phoenix back, and trying to go for the kill actually. Ulti's available, so he can actually drop the ulti just for the slow if he has a little bit of rotation in. Speaking of rotation, Witch Doctor going to come through. Don't think it's going to be enough though. Icarus Dive is available for the Phoenix, so Phoenix should be able to survive any shenanigans that come her way. Moving back into mid though, we can see ourselves a nice little dive. Death Prophet going in for the kill on top of Zeus. Zeus taking quite a bit of damage. Looks like it's going to be more than enough for Death Prophet guys to get the kill. Going to Soul Siphon on top of the Oracle. Unfortunately, he used the ability on himself, and he actually might be going down. Nope, he will be alive. Death Prophet does TP out of there completely. Tusk might want to go for Snowball Ice Shards. No shenanigans. Okay, no shenanigans. No shenanigans shall be had. So we see ourselves the tale of Death Prophet flexing her muscles, showing you guys how she should play herself this time around. Like I said, I don't necessarily agree with the Soul Siphon Spirit being maxed out first, but it has been doing the most damage for Lemon this whole entire game, so I think I need to go ahead and reconsider my position on this issue. Speaking of my position on this issue, nice little snare on top of 2 people, unfortunately, and now we got Oracle almost getting caught out in the worst way possible, but he does back away. Ice Shard's not going to be enough to hold him down. Tusk heal himself up with a nice little salve, and Death Prophet will be working on, looks to be there's a few different things. I mean, could be a Dagon. Pretty sure it's not a Dagon, but she has herself a casual cloak. I'm not 100% sure what that means. She's going to be going for an Ether Lens. She doesn't have anything remotely close to that just yet. She could be going for a pipe. I don't really know. There's only 3 things you can build out of that. Glimmer Cape would be a horrible idea. So yeah, probably Ether Lens, just to increase the range, the initial cast range and break range of Siphon Spirit. Because Lemon does seem to be using that quite a bit. And also, it's just really good to have a casual cloak versus someone like a Zeus. A lot of the primary damage from Youngin will be coming from the Oracle and also from the Zeus. And Faces Void, speaking of damage, taking a nice little chunk of damage, almost losing his life up top. Gonna be able to backtrack quite a bit of that life back. Alright, Zeus dropping the ulti, trying to see who's where, maybe trying to get a kill on top of Death Prophet. Death Prophet going to drop the Siphon Spear on top of the Zeus. So much life going her way, able to tank the entire tower. Drops the ulti as well. Will be able to get the kill on top of the tower here. Only level 1 of her ulti. Oracle coming in. He might be able to have the nukes available. Death Prophet has just enough mana to go ahead and drop herself another Siphon Spirit, but looks like she will bottle up, keep herself alive. Here comes the damage as well. The heal, unfortunately, not going to come through. Siphon Spirit coming through on top of Oracle. Oracle might be, yes, he will be going down. Snowball's coming through just to help guarantee it. Death Prophet having a fantastic game. 7 kills going her way. And she hasn't even had to move out of her lane. It's pretty darn ridiculous. I'm gonna be able to get the tower down. I don't know if this means that Death Prophet is still strong in the meta. I do know that Siphon Spirit is a little bit underrated, as you can attest from me thinking it's trash. Apparently it's not. Anyway, Siphon Spirit gonna come through on top of Zeus. Zeus gonna be getting a nice little chunk of life hit away from him. Lifestealer coming in though. Lifestealer will be a different case if Death Prophet decides to go for it. She's gonna be forced to back away. Has no Siphon Spirits left, and looks like she's gonna go for the rune. Trying to fight for the rune. Will she get it? Yes, she gets it! But she loses her life for it. Faces Void, Chrono Spirit's available, gonna be forced to drop it. He will go for the kill on top of the Zeus, drops the time dilation as well. Here comes a call from Gyrocops. There's so much damage on top of Lifestealer. No rage for you because he has nothing left. Phoenix trying to keep her allies alive. Unfortunately, she's stuck on the high ground. Witch Doctor ulti just to help finish off the Zeus. A very shameful way to die indeed. Phoenix gonna be forced to TP the heck out of there. A very unfortunate fight coming out for coming out for Youngin. I thought Faces Void was going to be forced to drop the Chrono and run away, but it looks like his team was ready to pounce on him. Jesus. Yep, time dilation showing you guys how cool it is. Basically forcing somebody like Lifestealer, who's really, super reliant on rage. I think it was on a 14-second cooldown by the time we looked at it, because he used it before he got caught, and then time dilation kicked in, which is a whole 9 seconds at this point. Or no, it's only 6 seconds. So yeah, 6 seconds. What was that, 14? Oh, duration, sorry. Cooldown 16 seconds, right. Cooldown 60 seconds, so 6 seconds plus 16, which is 22. So 22 seconds for that next rage comes up. Long story short, Lifestealer died. That's all that matters. That's all we need to care about. Snowball from Tusk going to come on top of Phoenix. Phoenix has no ulti available. She's going to be forced to Icarus dive away, though. The shards will be able to catch her. No, not enough damage to kill it, though. And Bane around the corner. He has his Fiend's Grip available. He might be able to get on top of someone like a Gyrocopter or Tusk. But it's going to be a little bit difficult to get on anybody, especially with no follow-up. The missile's going to come through, just proving the fact that they have vision up here. So he will be forced to back away. Meanwhile, top tower, or middle tower, dies. Also, the bottom tower dies. Sorry, bottom tower dies on that one. So more gold going the way of these guys on the side of Balrog Esports. And we see the levels, just showing you guys how far ahead the Death Prophet is. I mean, Death Prophet is a whole entire, almost a level 11. Dropping the, oh, nope, I thought she was dropping the ulti. Dropping a few abilities, has ulti available and the Yule Scepter as well. Just gonna be super hellish to kill. Meanwhile up top, Faces Void, he's gonna start trying to transition to a carry. No Blink Dagger available on him, unfortunately. Makes me a little bit sad to see. But he is gonna be going for, I think, the Mask of Madness so he can get a little bit more damage inside the Chronosphere. Trying to just optimize his build as much as he possibly can. Meanwhile, we see ourselves as Zeus. It's a little bit difficult to tell what he'll go for next. He has died quite a bit. 6 deaths going his way. But the kills come on top of Faces Void. Faces Void going to be forced to backtrack a little bit of damage. And the Chronosphere is available. TP support coming through as well. Faces Void looking for the Chrono. Gonna be able to drop it. Time dilation getting dropped as well. Catching everybody. Here comes Witch Doctor ulti just doing so much. Oh no, he gets cancelled immediately. Zeus gonna lose his life, unfortunately for it. But looks like they did get themselves a kill on top of the Zeus. And nobody's following but the kill on the backside. Very unfortunate indeed. And I don't know what's gonna happen next, but things are going on. Death Prophet shows up for the party. She's ready to go. Gets the kill on top of Lifestealer because why not? Drops a rage before he dies. Unfortunately, not gonna be enough. Just because you're mad doesn't mean you're gonna win this. And now we got the Oracle gonna be going down, trying to get himself a little bit of freedom from the magical damage, but still loses his life. Young and Gaming are falling apart as it goes along. Just showing you guys how powerful this combination of team is. I mean, Death Prophet, Siphon Spirit, just super strong as far as keeping people dead, keeping herself nice and healthy. Faces Void, able to do a lot with the Chronosphere and also time dilation, proving to be a really good ability. And just the rotations in general from the whole entire team on Balrog Esports is pretty much on point. So we have ourselves a Phoenix finally level 6 at roughly 14 or 12 minutes in the game. Lifestealer finally has himself a full entire armlet built up. We see Tusk, he's going for the rotation, so Earnest Shadows makes a lot of sense for him. Also, we see a Tornado Stick finished up on top of the Death Prophet. I don't think we see anything else impressive. Oh yeah, Gyrocopter starting to transition to his carry by right click as opposed to carry by magic, which is the Rocket Barrage. So he's going to be working on, I think, the Mantis style next. Actually, no. Gyrocopters don't go for Mantis styles. They go for Sanjiasha. So yeah, probably going for Sanjiasha. Which is going to be a nice item for him to get. Just a lot of extra HP. Anyway, Smoke Gang come around the backside. We're going to see ourselves some nice little funniness going on. We got the damage coming through. Here comes the slows. Here comes the Phoenix dropping in the middle. Unfortunately, it's just a little bit off the mark, but she's going to drop her ulti. Might be able to catch herself a stun. The False Promise getting used on the backside. Tusk rolling on top of the Bane. The nice ulti coming out from Phoenix, but not enough. The fight's not going the way Youngin wanted. 2 people dead, 3 people dead, 4 people dead. They're going to go for the kill on top of Zeus. Zeus is going to be forced to back all the freak way up. And Balrog's still pretty healthy. Witch Doctor is available in this fight too, if I'm not mistaken, so he can actually heal him up if he really wanted to. So the push will be sustained. Balrog going to be able to get themselves a kill off of just one Death Prophet ulti. And I think as far as the game goes, this is going exactly the way they planned it. Just basically every time Death Prophet drops the ulti, you want to try to claim a tower. I think she's dropped the ulti, what, 3 times? 4 times maybe now? And they've gotten themselves about 4 towers. I don't think she's involved in all the tower kills, but some pretty intense stuff to be dealing with. Showing us the net worth on the whole entire team. We see that Death Prophet is sitting pretty on top of it. Actually, the entirety of the Radiant squad is sitting pretty nice. Lifestealer, the only one representing the top 5 for the Dire squad. So Lifestealer having a pretty tough game in this one. Let's be completely honest. Too many carries to face. Got the Faces Void, got the Gyro, got the Death Prophet. And we also got ourselves a nice little ancient stack for Gyrocopter to farm up because he needs more gold. I mean, it's pretty obvious, guys. Gyrocopter needs more gold. Guys, Valve, please. Ice Frog, please. Alright, so speaking of the dynamic of Aethelins, I was expecting Bane to get an Aethelins. I don't know if he has enough money for it. I hear Lifestealer dropping abilities. I hear it, I see it. Nope, there's Tusk. Tusk gonna snowball in on top of the Oracle. This will be a dead Tusk, no matter how you cut it. Faces Void might show up. Oh no, the Chronosphere will be just on point, and the heal. Oh no, the fight turned in the exact opposite way. Phoenix Grip gonna fall on top of the Faces Void. Doesn't really matter. Nobody dying on top of Balrog Esports. Looks like Bane. He will be the last person to die. Gets torn up by the Death Prophet. Time dilation not even needed. They're gonna be able to get the kill without it, and they might be able to find themselves a kill on top of Phoenix if they really want. But looks like the whole entire Youngest squad, what should have been a really easy pickoff for them on top of the Tusk, turned into a complete disaster. Losing 4 entire people for that one attempt to kill Tusk, and Tusk is still alive. He's alive and healthy, pretty much full mana. And GG's get called out. Youngin are gonna go and tap out. I do agree with this. They're a little bit too far behind. Death Prophet is a little bit too big at this point. And when you have things like Tusk being able to survive by the skin of his teeth at that point, it's just, you can't do anything about it. I mean, you just can't do anything about it. So GG's get called. Well played, coming out from Balrog's, or I guess the official name. The official name for the team, according to JoinDota, is Team Dilecom, but I will call them Balrog because that's what's called in Dota TV. My name is CulBlu. Supposed to you guys this game. If you want to check out more of my stuff, check me out on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/CulBluDota. That's CulBluDota. Also Twitch, which is twitch.tv/CulBlu. I will be casting JDL probably on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Monday's a little bit special because of holiday, but anyway. Talk about more of that later. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into game 2. Hope you guys enjoy this one, and I'll see you guys in the next game.